Good afternoon, guys. For discussion C, we are discussing grief therapists explain how to cope with loss as you age. Okay, so that is discussion C for you. Here we go. Grief therapists explain how to cope with loss as you age. Growing older brings many kinds of loss. You may lose friends, a partner, physical abilities, roles that once defined you, or in the sense of future you once had. Grief in later life is often quieter and more complicated than the grief we expect. It can arrive as a steady ache, sudden waves, or a persistent low level of fatigue that colors daily life. Grief therapists who work with older adults say the work of grieving changes with age, and that coping well requires practical strategies, community, and permission to feel complicated emotions. How grief later in life, how grief in later life is different. Cumulative losses accumulate over decades and can compound one another. Each loss can reopen earlier wounds and make new losses feel heavier. Ambiguous losses, such as cognitive decline or changing family roles, are common and harder to name. Social isolation increases risks because friends and peers may be fewer, and mobility or health issues can limit contact. Practical burdens like finances, caregiving responsibilities, and medical decisions add stress that complicates emotional processing. Grief, grief therapists emphasize that these differences mean older adults often need tailored approaches that address both emotion and logistics. Core principles grief therapists recommend: name the losses. Say what you have lost. Saying what you have lost helps make grief visible and legitimate. Allow mixed feelings, relief, anger, guilt, love can coexist. Therapists normalize complexity rather than forcing a single right feeling. Prioritize small, steady routines, predictable daily rhythms, stabilize mood and energy, can stay connected in realistic ways. Quality matters more than quantity. Short calls, neighborhood walks. And regular check ins can sustain belonging. Balance remembering with living. Rituals and memory work are important, but so is making room for new meaning and small pleasures. Practical coping strategies from clinicians. Emotional practices. Name and track feelings. Keep a brief journal or use voice notes to notice patterns. Use guided grief exercises, short breathing, grounding, and imagery practices reduce overwhelm. Tell the story. Share memories with trusted people or in a support group to integrate loss into your life narrative. Social and relational steps. Create a grief map. List people, services, and activities that can help when you need support. Set boundaries. Protect energy by limiting conversations that drain you and scheduling restorative time. Find peer spaces, groups for older adults, bereavement groups, or community centers offer shared understanding. Practical and logistical moves. Simplify decisions. Break tasks into small steps and ask for help with paperwork, appointments, or household chores. Plan for health and legal needs. Advance directives, medication reviews, and clear financial documents reduce future stress. Use professional help early, a therapist, social worker, or care manager can prevent problems from escalating. When grief becomes a clinical concern, grief is a natural response, but seek professional help if you notice persistent symptoms that interfere with, with daily functioning. Warning signs include prolonged inability to sleep or eat, withdrawal from necessary care, persistent hopelessness, or thoughts of harming yourself. Grief, grief therapists can offer targeted interventions, such as complicated grief therapy, cognitive behavioral approaches, and practical problem solving that address both emotion and life management. making meaning making meaning and moving forward. Aging with loss does not mean giving up on joy. Many older adults report that grief eventually reshape, reshapes priorities and deepens appreciation for relationships and small moments. Therapists encourage practices that foster meaning, such as volunteering, mentoring, creating creative expression, and rituals that honor what was lost while opening space for what were what remains. Coping is not about being brave all the time. It's about finding sustainable ways to carry sorrow and to keep living. Closing paragraph. Old age is not for sissies because it asks us to grieve again and again while still showing up for life. Grief therapists advise combining emotional care with practical planning, learning on community or leaning on community, and accepting help with the right supports. Loss can be integrated rather than erased. And the later years can hold both sorrow and surprising sources of resilience. Okay, guys, that is your C for today. I will be back on with D later. For now, get a wellness. Take care, folks.